Mr. Speaker, now, we don't think that war on drugs failed. We don't think that war on drugs is over. We think that in the moment in which the state cannot achieve something fast, it doesn't mean that the state should stop in that moment. It means that the state should improve. It means that the state should make better campaigns and should fight even more on this war, on the war of drugs. Because as I'm going to prove later, this war on drugs will brings actually in the status quo a lot of harm and will continue to bring even more harm in the future. Now, before going to my own part of keys, which is going to be the effects on the future generation and the effects on population, I'm going to do a little bit of rebuttal on what the team proposition has brought today. Now, they started with their argument named legitimized choice, and they told us that it's people's choice, and therefore they should be allowed to have their choice. But what we see today is that no, is that it's not actually people's choice, because not always people's choice, because as we see, we have two types of people. First of all, the people who actually want to try drugs, and in that moment we see that it was those, no thank you.
Point of information.
No thank you. It was those people's choice, and they assumed this, but on the other hand, we have the second category of people, the people who are forced by the social context to take drugs. People such as kids who are put to beg in the streets since they are young, and who are on drugs because they don't have what to eat. No, thank you. And they become addictive since they are little kids, and because of those people who take drugs because of the social context, we believe today that stopping the war on drugs means not fighting anymore. Not fighting anymore for those people, because in the moment in which we are going to legalize this, and by this I'm going to their point with black market, we see that people are going to have more accessibility to those kind of drugs, and they said that it's better not to have black market because people will be more safe, because
Point of information.
No, thank you. But people will be more safe. But what we see today is that there always is going to be a black market, because even if the product is going to be legal, there will be a black market.
Point of information.
No, thank you. Because by legalizing this product, we are going to incentivize drug dealers or such persons to create better products, to create more addictive products, to create products that will bring more and more profit. And why do we think it's bad? No, thank you. Because at least we see that now we have standard drugs that we can a little bit control, but in the moment in which we are going to give those people an incentive, they are going to create more drugs, even more harmful. And by this, I'm going to tackle their point with that people take drugs that less damage their bodies. And let's think a little bit about crocodile. Let's think a little about drugs. No, thank you.
Point of information.
No, thank you. Let's think a little about drugs that destroy you on the long term, and even in the short term. And we see that the difference between the fact that state gives people other harmful things than drugs is that the difference between between what state gives to people and drugs is that drugs are addictive, that you are that you are going to feel the crazy need to take drugs. And what is going to happen in the moment in which you are going to feel the crazy need? You are going to sell everything and to sell all your goods in order to have money to buy drugs. And when this is not going to be enough, no, thank you, we see that the rate of criminality is going to raise because people feel the desperate need to take drugs. And on their second argument, they told us a little bit about the example in Mexico, and what we are telling you today is that what we are telling you today is that the problem is that now we have the international community, which means that we have more pressure on the state. So it's not only the state's pressure, we've got other states' pressure, we've got a bigger pressure. In the moment in which we are going to stop this worldwide, we see that this is going to be bad, because this is going to incentivize people to buy more and more drugs. Because if today people have a cost-benefit analysis, and they see that they want to take drugs but they can't because because they are illegal. In the moment in which they are going we are going to legalize those kind of drugs, they won't hesitate anymore. So we are going to have more people that will consume drugs at the end of the day. And why we don't want more people to consume this kind of drugs? Because thank you. Because in that moment the state won't be able to help them. And by this I'm tackling their point in which people cannot rehabilitate because of stigmatization. And what we are telling you today is that people won't go to help to the state, because the state was the one who was haunting them, who was stigmatizing them. And in the moment in which the state is going to legalize drugs, they won't trust the state enough in order to go there. And just go there. Yes.
Would you allow someone to smoke 5 packs of cigarettes a day?
Yes, of course I would allow, because the difference with drugs and cigarettes is that in the moment in which, if cigarettes were not to be legal, well, I would pressure Tonya not to smoke cigarettes and stuff like that, not to smoke cigarettes. But the difference is that in the moment in which you are going to smoke one cigarette, you're not going to be that addictive as in the moment in which you are going to smoke weed or other stuff of drugs, because there are drugs with a higher rate of addictiveness, drugs that we cannot fight. Now, this being said, I'm going to my own points, which are, first of all, why can't we legalize this? And we see that in the moment in which we are in the moment in which we are going to legalize this, it means that we are going to have less efficient population, because we'll have more population that will consume drugs, more population that will harm their bodies, more population that will not going to be able to work on the long term. And why this is bad? Because we are going to have a higher unemployment rate. And why do you think this is bad? Because the other part of the population, the population who isn't taking drugs will have to pay for them, will have to pay higher taxes. And we think that we cannot blame the other part of population for what people will do, because we are going to stop the war on drugs. We think that if this is going to happen, it will be only the state, the international community's fault, because people will start to consume more, as I analyzed earlier. Moreover, let's think about future generation, and let's think about a teenager that is put under peer pressure. So maybe now the only thing that stops him from taking drugs is the fact that drugs are illegal, that he may cause a problem to his parents. But in the moment in which we are going to legalize all type of drugs, we see that we are going to have teenagers that will take drugs. So in the long term, we are going to have an illiterate population. We are going to have teenagers that won't be able to work because they are drug addicts. And at the end of the day, we see that we are going to destroy the future generation, and we are going to make people take more and more drugs. So at the end of the day, we think that this war didn't stop, and that we have to give our best in order